I'm very hungry. Give me the french fries. Give me the bread. Give me the hot dog. Give me the rice.
Welcome everyone to this episode of Giving You the Business. This is where we highlight local businesses, give them a little bit of traction, a little bit of airtime, a little bit of play, and hopefully it'll grow their business. And we want to do more of this, don't we?
Making your dollars make sense.
Making your dollars make sense. So today we are pleased and excited to have Carol Hampton, the owner of The Date Catering. Carol is the proud owner of The Date Catering, a full-service catering and event planning company in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. She was born and raised right here in Dallas, Texas, and is currently a member of Concord Church. She has a BBA in marketing from Prairie View A&M University in Prairie View, Texas. Carol, welcome to the show.
Thank you both so much. Thank you for inviting me.
So, Carol, right out the gate, tell us how you got the name The Date. Where'd that come from?
Oh, okay. All right. I see you guys are serious about this.
We're trying to pretend like we're really doing something.
So, yes, the name The Date came about was whenever I needed to, a client came my way wanting to, hire me or get a quote from me regarding my services. One of the questions I have to ask each and every one is, what's the date of your event? And so with that, just asking that question like 10 million times, I'm like, okay, the date. And so that's how I came up with the name The Date.
That totally makes sense.
Totally makes sense. Especially for me, because I need a date.
Oh, well. You took a hard
wait.
You took a hard right turn on that.
Right, get back on track. So, Carol, tell us about the business and how you got started. Did it start a long time ago? Was it something that just hit you and you were good at it? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So I think catering started probably at the age of when I fell in love with cooking. So there was probably about the age of 9 or 10. My grandmother, every Sunday after church, I would go home with her just about every other Sunday and cook. She was one of those cooks, and I fashioned myself with, seasoned, food with no measurement cup, none of that, just no reading instructions or anything like that. So we both, kind of seasons until the seasoning gods tell us to stop. So we add this. So it kind of started there with my grandmother. And from there, I would have girlfriends, family members or whatever. I would say, oh, Carol, can you make this? Carol, can you make that? And so, again, I've been cooking ever since I can remember.
Now, do you use measuring cups? Here's the big question. Do you use measuring cups when you cook, or you old school, like a pinch of this and a pinch of that? And
pinch of this, pinch that. But what I normally do, if it's a brand new recipe, yes, I go exactly how the author of the recipe tells me how to cook it. And then normally from there, once I cook it exactly like they instructed, I taste it. If it's okay, then I kind of stick with whatever they have. But normally I'm adding something to it or taking it away. So I'm always improvising on a sure recipe.
Wow. I need a recipe.
I heard she makes a mean peach cobbler.
I need some peach cobbler right now, actually.
Ooh,
When
yes,
can we
yes,
get the
yes.
peach cobbler, girl?
We need to come pick it up.
Yeah. I'm gonna put you on my list now because I was just on a website yesterday and just happened to come across someone who made a peach cobbler, and the way she designed her crust just on the peach cobbler. Oh my God, I cannot wait to make a peach cobbler. She had some braids. She braided the crust some type of way and did something. I can't wait to switch it up. I'm going to, normally I just kind of put the crust, do a little something, but hers was magnificent. And so when the next time anyone gets a peach cobbler from me, they're going to say, oh my God, it's too pretty to eat. I want to hear that comment.
So put Mike on mine and Ken on his,
Yeah.
Right,
so we won't get them
exactly.
mixed up.
And speaking of braids, I see you got some braids going on there. Looking good, Carol Hampton.
Oh yes, with the pandemic and COVID, you just can't go to the beauty shop, like I normally would. And I just say, oh my God, I got to get something that where I can not have to think about it for a minute. And so here we go. We got the
Right.
braids. So shout out to all my ancestors who didn't have the luxury of going to a hairdresser.
Right. Speaking of the pandemic, the business that your side hustle business is very social in nature. So how were you forced to adapt during the pandemic? And part two of that question, will you continue to do those things once we're out of the pandemic?
Yeah, great question. Yes, pandemic. Companies like mine, restaurants or internet, it hit us hard. It's so many businesses that have went under because of it. So yeah, and it led me to, getting a job, I say that like it's a disease or something, but I ended up having to get, do something to get some more income. But yeah, so March of last year, where I had about 25, 30 events on the books for the year. By February, they were all totally gone, complete. Wow. Calendar wiped clean. So we had to pivot. We truly had to pivot. And so then it was my moniker, I say, the date catering to go. So that's what it was about. It was, people just wanted, it got to a point where people were just tired of their own cooking. It's not that they couldn't cook or anything. They were just sick and tired of their own cooking. So when it came up for special holidays like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, because we, it just kept going on and on. We made specialty offerings during that time. And we had pickup air locations, we had delivery. So, they got that Thanksgiving because, just think about Thanksgiving. Everybody comes with their special dish. I do, somebody comes with peach cobbler, somebody comes with potato salad or whatever. Well, guess what? That aunt that made that best potato salad that you ever had in your whole life, that didn't include raisins, shout out to the other kind of cooks.
No raisins. Please, no raisins in the potato salad.
Oh, hell no, Karen.
No carrots, okay. So they were not getting their potato salad. Because she came in from Detroit, it's not like she's going to, you can get the potato salad. So people were able to get those comfort foods that they normally like, but they just didn't cook it. So we were able to, to help, with that, especially, when it came to gumbo, shrimp and grits, you love it, but, you don't know how to make it, but you want it. And so we kind of made our way into that segment. So where it was great. Someone created a Facebook, and it's still really active now. It was DFW Black-owned businesses, and I'm just telling you, when I tell you, when the pandemic hit and that popped up, we've had so good support. Where everyday people looking for something, and that I from that website, that Facebook group, I think I probably got about 3 or 4 accounts. Just based just that alone. And those people would have never, ever, ever known for me, would even never known that I existed if it wasn't for that particular Facebook group.
Now, you mentioned something just a second ago that's near and dear to my heart.
Food?
Gumbo. And I understand that you partner with a gentleman in this area who makes probably the best gumbo in the DFW with Metroplex. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yes. So here we go. Yes, this is my partner in crime. This is my yin to my cooking yang. This is the one that, oh my God, when I don't think I know how to do it, he has just been a blessing. It's just been a blessing to partner with Lauren Branch of Branch's Bistro. His wife introduced us to each other. She knew I catered. I knew her from another girlfriend, another set of girlfriends. As a matter of fact, your two wives, ex-wife. Donna, bless her heart, and then your Karen wife, Mike, Kathy. So, and that's how I got to know them. Well, one day she said, "Hey, my husband wants to, he's trying to get into catering. If you ever need some help, call him up. He would be, great. He would really love to, to help you out." So sure enough, about a few months later, I had this couples party. It's probably about 20 couples. And the person who was going to bartend called and said, "Hey, you can make it," got sick or something. I can't remember. It was 3-4 years ago. And I said, oh my God, who can I call? And I called up Allie. The next thing I know, Lauren is at Jaja Hotel with me, and the way he tells the story, he walks in, and then what I do is, "Oh, hey, Lauren," I hand him a bag of sugar, apple martini mix, vodka, and some martini glasses, and I said, "Keep the martini glasses filled." And he made apple martini.
That sounds pretty good.
I know.
That was a customer sick trick.
Can you put those in a to-go cup too, along with the peach cobbler?
And the gumbo?
And the gumbo.
I'm hungry right now.
Exactly.
It's lunchtime.
Exactly. Right. So that's how, and from that event, Lauren and I have collaborated just about on 99% of our bits. We both keep our same, individual names, Branch's Bistro and The Date. But there, again, we collaborate on just about everything. As a matter of fact, I was at his house yesterday picking up the shrimp and grits. But let's get back to the gumbo. Yes, gumbo king.
Thank you.
Lauren Branch is the gumbo king. Only thing I do is I cut up seasoning, cut up sausage, I clean the shrimp. I'm that part. But when it comes to that roux, I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. Not at all.
A roux.
The gumbo king.
A roux. If you make some roux, that's like 70% right there. You got to know what you're doing with the roux.
No.
What? No?
Mm-mm. Roux is 95%.
I was low.
Of gumbo.
That's why your gumbo not as good as Lauren's.
Anybody can saute some shrimp. Anybody can saute some sausage. Anybody can cut up onions and all of that stuff. And that's called the Trinity. The Trinity goes into that gumbo.
The Trinity. They putting some spirituality in that gumbo. That's why it tastes so good. The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, and some lobster.
Hey,
Lord.
But if you don't get that roux right, it can be too light. It can be too dark. But if you just don't have that right mix, it's all about the roux.
Oh, so that's like a racist gumbo.
It's all about the roux.
Right.
If it's too dark.
See.
I don't know about that.
Right.
Can we just get along with the gumbo?
Well, I will say this. I've hired Carol several times. So have you. And to see them in action, these are two of the hardest working people that I've ever seen. So if you hire Carol and Lauren, they gonna work hard for you at a good price.
Oh, that's good. Price is good.
Yes.
Good price is good.
Within your budget.
Within the budget. Now, and that reminds me, okay, so I'm going to bring it up, right? So you've done 2 major events for me, right? The first one, actually the second one was my film premiere. You did a phenomenal job at that. And I can't stop singing your praises for the way you handled this whole entire studio movie grill. I mean, you had everything going from the general seating to the VIP. We sold the whole place out. So you definitely were on point with that. But the first one you ever did for me was my daughter's Sweet 16 party. And I remember one thing from that party. You know what I'm going to talk about, so you can add it to the gumbo and the martini and the peach cobbler.
Uh-huh.
You had made these cupcakes that were, I don't know what else to assimilate them to, but they were like crack because they had me in the corner just kind of shivering and shaking.
Oh, Lord.
Until I got another one. And I
crack.
just following Carol around, can I get another? How much for one cupcake? Please, just one cupcake. You had those cupcakes. Oh my God. Now I understand someone made those for you. Tell us about that part.
Yes. It was all about the cupcakes. And so shout out to Gabrielle McVeigh. You guys may remember her. She was one of the students at St. Philip's. Her mom worked there at that time. And she started a cupcake company. And
Crack Cupcakes.
Anyway.
Right.
So,
it's called Crack Cupcakes.
Yes.
Kids don't do drugs.
Yes.
The Crack Cupcake Company.
Cupcakes.
I just need one.
Yes, and she supplied those. I ordered it from her. That was probably she was my go-to for cupcakes at that time. But now she has blown up. She's moved to California and she's caterer to the stars. So she has a YouTube page, I think, and an Instagram, and she's written a cookbook. So yeah, when she first started out, little Gabby was just making these fabulous cupcakes. And but yeah, that's where the cupcakes came from. But your daughter's Sweet 16, that was, and I don't know if I ever told you this, Kim, but that was really my first major event where I had to, with so many moving parts. I mean, from the venue to the guest list to the, your daughter, the hip hop lessons to all of that.
The red carpet.
Right.
Yeah, red carpet, the whole bit, the candy station, all of that. So, I mean, centerpieces, as the saying goes, I tried to spend all your coins. Okay.
All of it.
Carol had me. I was probably the most difficult part of that whole party. I was like, Carol, don't spend that. Ken, it's only 16 once.
Oh,
come on, Ken. It's your baby. I'm like, okay.
Oh,
okay. Yes. And well, I'll put it this way. It was a lot of difficult parts, but the most difficult at the party that night was keeping the parents out of the party because they wanted to do. I said, because we had a waiting room for the parents at that time. So no one was driving. We were 16, so we had a lot of minors there. Well, majority of the party goers were minors, but. The parents, so we had a room for the parents where they can have little snacks and eat, but I couldn't, that was my biggest assignment that night was, can y'all get out of here?
Parents were trying to get the party on.
Have a party.
She had this, Mike, I know you were there, but I remember the specifics. Carol had this event on such a lockdown, running like a machine kind of event. Remember Dale was like 6'8", 320 pounds, built like Hulk Hogan. He was at the front door and no one was getting in with anything. Right. And then, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll bleep this out if I'm not allowed to say this, but didn't you have a friend there that was like a DEA agent?
Yes.
So there was no alcohol being consumed by any of the minors. The parents had the entire separate location where they were doing it. I mean, she had this thing running like clockwork. I did not have to do a thing at all except enjoy and bask in my daughter's glory and
eat cupcakes
and eat those crack cupcakes. I mean, if I could have ground them up and snorted them, I probably would.
Oh Lord!
But that's the.
You know
More
what?
descriptive words to describe these food items. Okay.
I would love to see you do that.
Now, Ken,
Snort a cupcake.
What's Ken doing over there with all that
With that icing on his face, on his nose.
Icing.
Oh, Lord.
But that is the sign of a great event planner. Is if the person, and it's my opinion, if the person that's hiring her doesn't feel any stress about anything, all they have to do is get pretty and show up. Right?
Sure.
If you have to get stressed and do 101 things and run around and do this, it's just not a good event, right? Because you can't enjoy it. That is the true essence of a good event planner. And I will say I'm sold out for the date. So you guys with that gumbo and those crack cupcakes and
Crack cupcakes.
I'm sorry, I keep going there. I know.
Oh boy.
I know. So you know what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to slide me on Gabrielle's contact information, so I can. Hopefully, they won't get picked up in the mail transit as contraband or something.
Oh Lord.
Right. Well, hopefully when she makes her next visit here, once this pandemic, then you can get them fresh out the oven where they don't have to be shipped or something like that.
Lord have mercy.
Mm-hmm.
So Carol,
but
go ahead. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but I just wanted to share that piece of information as well. I do what I do best, and that's what I'm going to give you. But if there's something that a client requests that is not in my wheelhouse, I do, and we do partner with a lot of minority-owned businesses to, supply that. And so, if you need a balloon set up, I don't do balloons. I have vendors for balloons. I have vendors for cupcakes. I have vendors for, you need a bounce house or whatever that is. So, if it's not in my wheelhouse, DJs, photographers, all of that stuff. So just think about the date is a one-stop shop. And the vendors that I use, I don't get a cut from those vendors. What they quote you is their price. So that is one of my give back to the community type of thing, is to use vendors that that I have a working relationship with, and make sure I present them. As a matter of fact, right now I'm planning a high school graduation party, and she's on her way to Hampton University. So the theme is school by the sea. School by the sea. Well, the client wants floating balloons in their pool. Well, for starters, I ain't getting no water to try to put no balloons in the water. So I have someone.
But you got your hair braided though, right? So you can get in the water.
No. I had to tell you off camera about that almost drowning accident, but that's a whole nother
Oh
story.
my goodness.
So, but again, it's banners or any of that kind of stuff. It is what, I work in partnership with a lot of other vendors, and they do the same for me. If they know someone needs a caterer, trust and know they're giving my name. And it's two of my top clients who say my name, because actually I changed their names to Beyonce because they say my name so much.
Say my name.
Sean Brown and Alicia Brown Young. Those are my two. The Browns in my life, and their names are Beyonce. And so when I see, I have changed their names in my phone, Beyonce 1, Beyonce 2, because I just know they are calling me to say, hey, I gave your name to somebody. And
now when she talks about banners, she's not lying. She had these 50-foot banners done at my daughter's party again. And I still got them in my storage unit. I don't know. I can't get rid of them. What am I ever going to do with those things? They were 50 feet tall. And every time I talk about getting rid of my daughter's like, Daddy, you can't get rid of those.
I'll tell you what you're going to do with them.
What?
Can I tell you what you're going to do with them?
Absolutely.
When baby girl builds that magnificent building, that building, that her signature building, that one that she's going to, her grandkids are going to say, oh, my granny built that building. You're going to hang them off the side of the building at the grandkids. That's what
I'll hang them up in her wedding.
Hang them up in her wedding, huh?
Yeah. You just had to get another one with the groom.
No, you don't worry about the
yeah.
groom.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, that one.
Groom been happy that I let him show up.
Oh, Lord.
I know.
So Carol, Ken has ideas for side hustles. I got a couple ideas for side hustles. What advice would you give somebody that is looking to start a side hustle?
Legally.
Well, for starters, I want them to not call it a side hustle.
Okay.
I want them to call it my business. This is my business. Side hustles are something that you just kind of do every now and again. You know, okay, somebody may want a peach cobbler. I may make one here and there. That's a side hustle. You just want a little income. You're not even trying to make money. You like doing it and you kind of do it. No, as a matter of fact, Lauren was the one who helped me understand that. He said, Carol, this is not a side hustle. This is our business. This is our business, and we need to treat it as such. Number one thing is, customer service, that type of thing. So if you want to start a business, the best time is today. You may have a business plan, you may not, but you know how to do what you do. Just go ahead, step out on faith, because I'm telling you, it's going to come. The road is bumpy in starting a business. It's nowhere around it. Anyone who owns a business will tell you that. I'm not telling, this is not a secret. It's bumpy. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall, but go ahead and get started on their business, because whatever it is, there's a market for it. It's enough room for everybody. If there is 15 caterers that see this, open up your catering business, open up your event planning business. So if you want to start your business, start it. And find a mentor, find someone that's already doing it. Because I'm telling you, if they are serious about their own business, I'm telling you, there's not one person that can ask me a question and I'm like, I ain't telling her that. No, or that's not how. Well, I'm not going to tell you how to make a peach cobbler, and Lauren ain't going to tell you how to make a gumbo. So I'm sorry about that.
They'd have to kill you. They gave you the recipe. They'd have to kill you.
No, we're not giving you the recipe for that. But anything else, we are open and happy to share the tools of the trade. We're happy to. So just go ahead and get started. I'm telling you, I don't even know how any other way to do it. And then you can start with the things to make it legal. Trademarking your
make it legal.
Getting your sales tax ID number. Getting those things. Doing that, because you do have to pay. You got to pay the government. So we don't want you to get in trouble behind that. But go ahead, get started, and then just work your way through the paperwork. And I'm telling you, you're going to be fine. You're going to succeed. Because if it's love and your passion, you're going to do fine.
And I think that's a good piece of advice, Mike, because a lot of people don't, especially some of our younger folk, right? They don't understand the importance of a mentorship, right? The resources that are available in the mentorship. Because one of the things that my mentor in business school used to always say to me is it's great to identify what you want to do, you have a love and you have a passion for, but it's just as important to identify what you're not good at, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't go down the path just because you're trying to make some money because you saw someone else making some money, and then you have a subpar business, which ultimately affects your brand and affects things down the road. It's like customer service, right? You can't be in the customer service business and then be in the drive-through going, Byron.
Oh, what?
That ain't good customer service, right? Yeah, hopefully everyone knows what I'm referencing.
I know what you're referencing. Oh my God.
So that's a good piece of advice, though, Carol. The mentorship, I think, is awesome, and if more folk would take advantage of that resource, they'd realize, they don't have to build, something brand new. Someone's already built the wheel. You can make it better. Someone's already done it. You can make it better. Right. And you can gain from the experience and maybe miss some of the potholes and maybe miss some of those obstacles, and grow on it. That's great advice, Carol.
And like Carol already mentioned, outsourcing is okay.
Yeah.
Collaborating is okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mike and I are better together in this podcast than I think individually, and that's why God put us together. So, I'm happy.
Yep.
You're right. And then also, the feedback from your clients, because I remember a girlfriend of mine's living in Atlanta, Sherry, and she was, she would see my, posts. I would, take pictures of the events and show things and all this stuff. And I remember her comment. She told me, Carol, it's time to step your game up. You need to get some real plates and real forks and quit all the acrylic and throw it. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, because okay, let's go for it. And the next thing I knew, and let me tell you, and this is just the Holy Spirit heard that, and he worked it out because another girlfriend of mine's in Hillary out of DC, she Dallas, born and raised, she had an event. And she bought all of these plates and these forks and these napkins, all this stuff. But she lived in DC and she said, I'm not shipping this stuff back. Carol, if you want it, come get it. 200 settings of everything.
Awesome.
Didn't have to buy it or anything. She gifted that to me. And so, when you put things out there in the atmosphere and you pray and whatever, and you have good intentions, it'll just come to you. I knew I needed to buy some, hadn't bought them yet. And the next thing I know, I get a call and there it all just falls in my lap. And Lauren and I couldn't get to the country club where she was having it fast enough. And she was like, oh, let my people, no, we'll wash them. We I'm not even, you've given us this.
Right.
We'll take care of that. We'll get all this stuff washed and packaged, put in, because, in our storage. But yeah, and so that's another thing of stepping up our game. As a matter of fact, we just had a call. Him and I were talking today. It's time to buy new chafing dishes, and I'm just saying, we just need to go ahead and just make that investment because it's just time. And that's another thing with these business. You have to put your money back into your business.
Yes.
You just cannot continue to think you're going to service your customers and you're not putting money back into your business. So, out of those profits that you make, you have to reinvest in yourself, and really you're reinvesting in yourself. You want to put out the best product at the time because, with event planning, everything is cynical. This year is balloons. Last year it was cotton candy. Next year it'll be something else. And so you have to, invest in those things.
Right. So I need to ask a question though, if I can.
It's not related to cupcakes, is it? Or crack.
Now that you brought that up, no.
I don't know where you can buy any crack, kid. Okay.
We do not advocate the sale of drugs on Avapod. The opinions of the host are not necessarily. No. So exactly. I've got your professional expertise on the line here. So forgive me if I sound a little dumb. That's not hard for me to do sometimes. Chafing dish. What exactly is a chafing dish? That's question number one.
Okay, so I'm going to put in layman's terms. When you are at a restaurant or event and the food is in a silver looking thing where the food is staying hot, those are chafers.
Chafers.
They're called chafers.
Okay.
And that is where serving is what you serve your food in. And it's a presentation type of thing.
Okay.
They are, you can buy some as cheap as $20 and up until $200 or $300.
Okay.
So it's all about the presentation of it, because that's another thing too, with this business. I don't care how good your food is, if you don't come with that presentation, because you want their guests to come in and say, ooh, ah, oh, okay. So that's what what we have to do in order to make the whole experience be exceptional.
Okay.
But those are chafers.
Great,
those silver things that sit on the table that have food in them.
Because anytime I hear chafing, first thing I
know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, because back in college when I played football, I used to chafe all the time.
Oh my goodness!
I needed baby powder for that. Okay, so here's the next. These are honest questions. I ask questions for understanding. Okay, that's my whole purpose for asking questions. Second one, What? So I had this. I made some sliced up some cheese the other day, and I had it on this little cutting board. And my daughter came down and said, "Oh, you made your own chicanery board and chartreuse board." And I'm like, "What? What is she talking about?"
Well, it's called charcuterie board. So it's CHAR.
You can't even say it.
Charcuterie board.
Charcuterie, chicanery,
Tomfoolery.
shanana.
Charcuterie board. But back in the day, it was called meat and cheese.
Right.
Hello.
Oh, meat and cheese
Called
board.
Meat and cheese.
Well, there wasn't no meat on this board. It was just a cheese board.
Okay.
It was just cheese and crackers. I'll get some meat next
have
week.
vegetarian.
It'll be a meat board.
You can have vegetarian charcuterie boards. You can have them. You can make them all different ways. You can have a fruit charcuterie board. You can have a meat and cheese. You can have whatever you like on those boards. But there are some things you just don't put on them.
What?
But there is more of what you can versus what you can't.
What can't you put on the charcuterie board?
One thing is, and this is just me, and you know what? I'm going to say this is just me. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying this is just mine. It's tomatoes. That's just one thing.
Tomatoes.
You don't put tomatoes on the charcuterie board. Let me write that down.
Cherry or sliced or anything like that. You don't put
No.
tomatoes on there.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I learned two things. I learned what a chafing dish is and what a chicanery, shanana,
A tomfoolery board.
the chicanery. Diabolical and chicanery.
Charcuterie.
All right.
So, Carol, during the pandemic, a lot of people picked up new hobbies.
Habits. You
See, it's the crack. Talking about the crack, man.
don't blame me.
I did not
He
pick
said
up
it.
any bad habits, drug habits. No. People pick. A lot of people picked up some new interests and hobbies during the pandemic. Did you pick up anything new?
Let me think about it during the pandemic. Did I pick up anything new? No, I really didn't pick up anything new. But what I did was I really, and a lot of people did this, I really started to like my house. Okay.
That's a good thing.
Before,
That is.
we were just moving around so much. For me, my home was almost come in. It was just a place to come shower, change clothes, and leave. And so this pandemic, with us having to be here so much, it just made me appreciate, my home and let me find. And then with that, it made me start finding things that I wanted to improve. So, since then, I've gotten my yard front and back. I put a new fence. I got hardwood floors, and I'm about to get a paint job on the inside. So it was those things that, you just kind of just ignored, but it really made me appreciate, my home. And so now I'm making it to where, I want to stay here more. I want to, be here more. I'm making it, my daughter, is gone. She moved out few years ago, and I really just hadn't done anything. So I'm making this my home that I, that's me.
Right.
That says,
Right.
oh, when you walk in, this is a representation.
It says
of
Carol's
Carol.
home.
Right.
It says
Right.
Carol. Yes.
It's Carol's home, warm and pleasant.
Yeah.
She's probably got one of those signs. Carol's home.
Carol's home.
Carol's home.
Carol's home.
I can see
Mike, I think I need to make me one.
We're gonna get one of those for you.
We get one of those from the white picket
Yes,
fence.
yes.
Ken is actually a good handyman. He could probably make one of those.
Yeah, I'll try.
He could probably do
I'll
that.
try. I don't like spending money on anything. So I try to make stuff.
He cheap, in other words.
I'm frugal. Carol knows that.
Good.
He knows that from the parties.
Right.
She's like, give me some money, Ken. I'm like, no.
And she slides you another cupcake,
She slid me another cupcake. Now, how much you want?
and the big wad of money just fall out your pocket.
Big water.
Yes.
So, Carol, oh, thank you so much for being on. This was a lot of fun. It was great to catch up with you and talk about your business. How can people get a hold of you? They want to hire the date for their event. Tell us how they can get a hold of you.
Sure. I am on Instagram and Facebook, and it's The Date Catering. On Facebook, you can find it under my name, Carol Hampton. On Instagram, it's at Carol Party Stylist. And again, those are my ways of getting in contact. Yes, I need to move into the 21st century and get that website. We're working on it. So I don't have it yet, but most of my business so far have been, word of mouth. But imagine if I get a website, what it may take me. So it is in the works, but those are the ways you can get a hold of me.
Okay.
So from this date forward, I will never say side hustle again.
Bam.
I am eliminating that
Business.
phrase from my vocabulary.
No longer a side hustle.
It's a business.
Unless you're dealing in
It's a
cupcakes.
legit-
Lord have mercy.
All right. Any last words, Mike?
Thank you, Carol. It was good seeing you.
You're more than welcome.
We can't wait to hang out again.
The date, y'all.
I know.
The date. A full service catering and event planning company in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
Call her.
Don't hesitate.
Yes. Let us cater to you.
Let her cater to us.
Yes.
And if you need a date, call the date.
With the peach cobbler and the gumbo.
The gumbo and the crack. Cupcakes.
No crack. No.
Carol, such a pleasure. Thank you so much. We love you.
Love you. Love you both. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
I'm very hungry.